Alright, what is going on, guys? We got a market recap today for Monday, April 5th. I took one trade and got stopped out at break even this morning. It should have been a small win. We'll go over what happened on that one. The trade basically played out, and I was just trying to see a little bit more RR on the trade. But the trade essentially played out. And we'll go over my bias real quick. The bias was bullish for me on the higher time frames. If we just zoom out to the 4-hour chart on NQ, look at this, man. We just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. I want to see this weekly buy side liquidity get taken. I said this last week before the week wrapped up. I want to see this buy side liquidity get taken. This is the next prominent high for me. And if we just go to the 4-hour chart, we have continued to open up high time frame BISIs, and so I want to continue to see these high time frame BISIs hold and see that internal model to the upside, and have today this is my external draw on liquidity, this 4-hour high. So going from the 4-hour, zooming into the 15-minute chart, I wanted to see this 15-minute high get closed above on the higher time frames and start to make our way up, open up a 15-minute fair value gap and execute on that. And then this would be the internal liquidity, and then this would be the external liquidity, and get a buy model to the upside. Unfortunately, we didn't have that sort of displacement on the 15-minute chart. We never closed above this swing high until 10:45 this morning, so not until later on in the session. But if we go to ES real quick, this was the short trade that I took. If we go to the 4-hour chart on ES, we can see we slightly closed below this 4-hour fair value gap. That's not why I went short, but I saw that, and then I zoomed in and saw we had this 15-minute imbalance, and we had all of these stacked highs coming into the market open. We came up and swept these and had manipulation within this fair value gap. So I was like, okay, well, I guess it makes sense. We could probably come back down and sweep this low before either continuing to displace lower, or sweep this low and then before continuing higher. We obviously continued higher. And this was more of an internal model trade because we don't have the higher time frame structure necessarily to validate a short here. Because, like I said, the higher time frames are bullish, but this was an internal trade, simply solely just playing off of this 15-minute fair value gap and this 15-minute model. Because of all these stacked highs within this fair value gap, we came up, swept these highs, and then had manipulation. If we go to the 1-minute chart, if we go to the 1 minute, we can see that we came up. We swept this high. We then got an original move down, and then we came back up and put in the SMT that I was looking for. This SMT is what gives me confidence in the trade. If we go to the 1-minute chart on NQ, just to show the SMT real quick, it was right here. Yeah, right here. This candle, we came up and took this high, this internal high on NQ. ES, we didn't. So ES was more bearish. We had all these stacked lows. Like I said, this looked like a nice market maker sell model, internal model that I was looking to play off of, because we had the SMT, which gave me confidence to take this short right here. So we came up. Let me just go to market replay real quick. Boom. We hold that fair value gap. We come up, we put in the SMT. We still have this bullish fair value gap, which I want to see price run through. And then this would be the change in the state of delivery right here. The last series of up close candles, which caused the SMT. So it closed below here. They're the exact same spot. The inverse and the CISD are in the exact same spot. So we come down and we close below it. We opened this candle below it. So I entered here. Basically got tapped in right here. And then this was the external sell side liquidity. Let me relabel that. This was the 15-minute sell side that I was looking to get taken here. And at this point, in the middle of the trade, I had my limit order set right here. I was like, you know what? I'm going to, NQ's lagging behind. I'm going to at least place a 1.5 RR take profit. Because I thought there was a chance that since NQ was lagging behind, ES would come down a little bit further and get me tapped in for a 1.5 RR trade. That's usually pretty much like the minimum that I'm looking for in a trade is a 1.5. And it would have been a 1.2 to this internal sell side liquidity. And guess what? We came down and formed perfect equal lows with this sell side liquidity right here. And if I had kept my limit order, I'm going to take profit at this low and actually followed the model, right? I got a little bit of emotional today, trying to get a little bit of extra profit right there. But this is the sell model, right? This is the model that we're playing off of. We don't know if we're going to continue lower after that. Now, it's easy to say. We could have easily came back down and ran through this just a little bit more, and I could have hit take profit, and everything would have been fine. But this is why it's important to actually play the internal model, or to actually play the model and what price is giving you, right? And this is also a byproduct of me being a little discontent with the lower risk to reward trades that have been offered last week and then to start this week. Last week my trades were about a 1.3 RR on average, not necessarily that 1.5 or the 1.2 risk to reward that I'm looking for. This is why it's important to take profits where the actual liquidity is, because we came down, formed exact equal lows. They would have hit take profit here, and then after this we came up and ran to started to push higher and actually started to get this displacement here on the 15-minute chart. And I actually saw this later on in the session. Once we actually come up and close and get that 15-minute market structure shift like I'm looking for. And honestly, considering the fact that we were still bullish in the higher time frames, like there's no reason that I should have left my take profit lower there. But that's just a learning experience, and hopefully you guys can learn from that as well. That sometimes emotions get the best of, it doesn't matter how good of a trader you are, your emotions are sometimes going to get the best of you, and we are human. And I just got to learn to improve on that in the future. But once we did come up and get this 15-minute push up, we broke structure on the higher time frames. This now becomes our market maker buy model that I want to see play out over the next day or so. We then opened up a 15-minute. Now this was so late into the market open, but I did see this play out. I didn't take it. This was at 11:30, so after the first 2 hours market open. I'm not trying to be on the charts, but I did see this before recording this video. If we just go back even more into market replay, we came back down and rebalanced to this 15-minute fair value gap right here, which was originally the kind of move that I was looking for coming into the market. We generated this buy side here, came down, swept liquidity, and this was actually an SMT with NQ. So we have that SMT here. We then open up a bearish imbalance that I want to see get run through, and then our change in the state of delivery would be right here, the last series of down close candles, CISD, and then boom, we close above it. You could enter here. Let me know if any of y'all took this actually, because this was actually kind of clean. I would have loved to have taken it if it wasn't so late into market open, and if I had saw this in the charts. But I was already off at this point in time. But we have that SMT inverse for value gap, change in the state, boom, enter there, and then we get bought back up. You could have even added on this order block right here after displacing higher. That would have been a nice scale in. You could have moved stops to below this swing low or below this swing low, and then added on that order block too. And then this was the kind of trade that I was originally looking for, and this is the kind of trade that I hope plays out tomorrow. If we just go back out to the 15-minute chart, I'm hoping we stay within this buy model right here, and we continue to hold bullish structure and get something like that tomorrow during the AM session. We'll just have to see what the market does over the PM. But yeah, that was the trade that I saw. And then because I was looking short right here, there was a long trade on NQ. I was not able to take this because when ES came down and formed those equal lows down there. We had a bullish SMT on NQ with these lows here. It was like a double SMT at the lows, and then it came up and we had the inverse and the change in the state. But because I was looking short on ES on the first trade right there, which would have played out, this also would have played out, but I wasn't able to get in on this because I was in that short trade essentially, and I wasn't even looking to go long. But you could have entered here on the change in the state, stops below here, take profit at the internal 15-minute high, which would be this high right here. So that could have also played out for you as well. Something like that. You could have even waited for a pullback back to the change in the state right here and gotten a better risk to reward. Let me know if y'all took that as well. But there was actually quite a bit of opportunity today. But unfortunately, I got stopped at break even. And yeah, it should have been a win. Should have been a smaller win. My emotions got the best of me a little bit today with extending my take profit a little bit slightly past the liquidity area. But we live and we learn. And it's only Monday. Hopefully we get a bunch of opportunity throughout the rest of the week, and this is what I want to see play out for us, this buy model right here. So yeah, man, that's the market recap, trade recap for today. Let me know if y'all took a trade, and yeah, man, appreciate you watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.